chosen one. Have you noticed it? The quiet stares that linger a second longer than normal. The eyes that follow you without explanation. The moments when people look at you, sense something, yet find no words to describe what they feel. This is not social curiosity, and it is not coincidence. Something about you speaks before your mouth ever opens. Your presence carries weight. Long before people understand your journey, your face already tells a story they cannot ignore. There is a divine pattern that repeats throughout history. When God sets his mark on a person, it does not always announce itself with noise. Often, it reveals itself through presence, through an unspoken awareness that causes others to look, hesitate, and reflect. You may have wondered why certain rooms grow quiet when you enter, or why strangers study you with a mix of curiosity and restraint. This is not intimidation from pride, it is recognition of something sacred that cannot be explained by human reasoning. In ancient times, when a servant of God spent extended moments in divine intimacy, something visible followed. Not because they tried to stand out, but because closeness with God leaves traces. The presence of heaven reshapes the human countenance. It softens, strengthens, and transforms. People respond instinctively to it. Some feel drawn. Others feel exposed. Many feel unsettled because light reveals what darkness prefers to hide. You are living in a season where your inner growth is becoming outwardly noticeable, even if you feel unfinished, even if you feel unprepared, even if you feel hidden. Heaven does not wait for perfection before allowing its imprint to show. What people are staring at is not your accomplishments, your background, or your status. They are reacting to the alignment forming within you. This is why silence often follows the stare. Words fail when spiritual awareness activates. Some people sense favor approaching your life. Others sense change coming that will shift roles, dynamics, and positions. A few sense conviction stirring within themselves simply because your presence reminds them of what they have neglected spiritually. Silence becomes their safest response. You may have spent seasons questioning why you stand out without trying, why your life attracts attention even when you desire peace. But understand this clearly. When God prepares someone for elevation, concealment ends gradually, not suddenly. Visibility increases before results fully manifest. The stares are early indicators, signals that something has already shifted in the unseen. This is also why the stares can feel uncomfortable. Growth often announces itself before confidence catches up. You are adjusting to a new level of spiritual awareness, and others are adjusting too. Some admire quietly. Some feel challenged, some feel threatened, yet none of that changes the truth. Your life is moving forward under divine guidance. There is also a deeper layer many people overlook. In the spiritual realm, recognition happens before celebration. Forces that oppose progress recognize purpose early. This is why resistance often appears before breakthroughs become visible. Not because something is wrong, but because something is right. Light does not announce itself loudly. It exposes simply by being present. Your face is becoming a reflection of the inner work God is doing. Refinement reshapes expression. Healing softens tension. Purpose sharpens focus. As your inner world aligns, your outer presence changes naturally. This is not something you force. It happens when obedience becomes daily, when prayer becomes consistent, and when trust replaces fear. If you have felt confused by the reactions of people lately, know this. You are not losing peace. You are outgrowing environments. You are not being misunderstood. You are being repositioned. You are not attracting attention. You are reflecting transformation. And transformation always gets noticed before it gets explained. Let this truth settle in your spirit. The stares are not warnings. They are confirmations. Heaven is preparing the stage quietly, and what is about to unfold in your life will soon give language to what people currently cannot express. If this resonates with you, stay with me. We are only at the beginning. As your presence becomes more noticeable, another reality unfolds quietly alongside it. Not everyone who notices you understands what they are sensing. Some feel drawn without knowing why. Others feel unsettled without being able to explain it. This reaction is not emotional imagination. It is spiritual awareness responding to alignment. When someone begins to walk more closely with God, their inner clarity begins to affect the atmosphere around them. Throughout history, those chosen for influence often experienced attention before authority. Before doors opened, expressions carried weight. People reacted instinctively, sometimes respectfully, sometimes defensively. Awareness came before explanation. That pattern has not changed. What has changed is your willingness to accept that this is part of your calling, not something to hide from. There is a reason your growth has felt accelerated lately. Moments that once drained you no longer hold the same power. Conversations you once tolerated now feel heavy. Environments you once blended into now feel restrictive. This internal shift is visible. Even when you say nothing, your presence communicates discernment, depth, and direction, and people respond to what they sense, not just what they see. Some of the stares come from admiration. People recognize confidence that is not loud, strength that does not compete, and peace that does not depend on circumstances. Others stare because they feel exposed. Light reveals inconsistencies without accusation. It reminds people of promises they postponed, truths they ignored, and paths they avoided. Silence becomes a defense mechanism. This is why reactions vary. One person smiles warmly, another avoids eye contact, another becomes distant, another watches closely but never speaks. These responses are not random. They reveal what your presence awakens within them. You are not responsible for managing those reactions. You are only responsible for remaining aligned. It is important to understand this stage because misunderstanding it can cause unnecessary self-doubt. You may start asking yourself if you are doing something wrong, if you are being misunderstood, or if you should tone yourself down. But shrinking does not protect purpose. Alignment does. The change others see is not arrogance, it is clarity. There is also a strategic element to this season. Visibility increases responsibility. As awareness grows, so does the need for wisdom. Attention without grounding can lead to distraction. This is why your spiritual foundation must deepen alongside your growth. Prayer sharpens perception. Stillness strengthens discernment. Discipline protects what favor attracts. Some of the people watching you today will later approach you for guidance. Others will quietly step aside as your path advances. Some will celebrate when your results appear publicly, even though they noticed the shift long before. This is how influence forms. Quiet recognition precedes open acknowledgement. You may feel pressure to explain yourself, to justify your growth, or to make others comfortable. Resist that urge. Purpose does not require permission. The right people will understand without explanation. The wrong ones were never meant to walk the full journey with you. This is also a moment to guard your inner world carefully. Attention can amplify both opportunity and opposition. Stay rooted, stay humble, stay focused. Let your confidence come from obedience, not applause. Let your peace come from trust, not validation. Your face reflects more than emotion. It reflects alignment. And alignment always produces authority, even before titles change. What you are carrying cannot remain hidden forever, and it does not need to be announced prematurely. If you have been feeling both strengthened and stretched, that is confirmation you are transitioning. Growth always brings contrast, but clarity will soon replace confusion, and purpose will replace pressure. Stay with me. What comes next explains why this stage matters more than you think. Familiarity. When someone rises internally, it challenges the comfort of others who expected them to remain the same. This is where spiritual maturity becomes essential. Not every reaction deserves a response. Not every stare requires interpretation. Discernment teaches you when to engage and when to continue moving forward without explanation. Silence, when guided by wisdom, is not weakness, it is restraint. Many chosen individuals lose momentum at this stage because they internalize external reactions. They begin to carry the emotional weight of rooms they were only meant to pass through. But you were never assigned to manage how others process your calling. You were assigned to steward what has been placed within you. Throughout history, those marked for impact were often misunderstood before they were celebrated. Their confidence was labeled distance, their discipline was mistaken for pride, their clarity was confused with coldness. Yet time revealed the truth. Results speak louder than familiarity ever could. This is why patience is a weapon in this season. You do not need to rush validation. What is forming in you needs time to mature fully. Growth that is rushed often collapses under pressure. Growth that is nurtured becomes unshakable. Pay attention to how your priorities are changing. You are becoming more selective with your time, your energy, and your words. This is not isolation, it is refinement. Purpose requires focus, and focus requires boundaries. Not everyone earns access to your inner world, especially in a season where clarity is still unfolding. Some of the stares you notice now will later make sense when opportunities emerge unexpectedly. A connection remembers you. A decision maker recognizes you. A door opens because someone saw consistency before they saw results. This is how influence forms. Quiet recognition precedes open acknowledgement. You may feel pressure to explain yourself, to justify your growth, or to make others comfortable. Resist that urge. Purpose does not require permission. The right people will understand without explanation. The wrong ones were never meant to walk the full journey with you. This is also a moment to guard your inner world carefully. Attention can amplify both opportunity and opposition. Stay rooted, stay humble, stay focused. Let your confidence come from obedience, not applause. Let your peace come from trust, not validation. Your face reflects more than emotion. It reflects alignment. And alignment always produces authority, even before titles change. What you are carrying cannot remain hidden forever, and it does not need to be announced prematurely.
Stay grounded in daily disciplines that keep your spirit centered. Prayer anchors you. Reflection sharpens awareness. Gratitude keeps your heart clear. These practices are not rituals, they are stabilizers. They help you carry increase without losing yourself. If you have felt an internal urgency lately, that is not anxiety, it is awareness. Something is forming ahead of you, and preparation is happening internally before manifestation appears externally. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust the one guiding you. You are not being watched because you are fragile. You are being noticed because you are becoming effective. And effectiveness always attracts attention before it attracts results. Do not dull your light to make others comfortable. Do not rush your growth to satisfy curiosity. Stay steady. Stay faithful. Stay focused. What is coming next will require the strength you are developing now. Stay ready. As your presence becomes more noticeable, the internal work must deepen even further. Visibility without grounding creates pressure, but visibility with purpose creates influence. This is why this season is not about polishing an image, it is about strengthening character. What people sense around you is not just confidence, it is stability. You are learning how to stand firm without announcing it, how to carry strength without proving it. One of the clearest signs of spiritual growth is emotional regulation. You no longer react the way you once did. You observe more, you listen longer, you respond with intention instead of impulse. This is not detachment, it is mastery. When the inner world becomes ordered, the outer world begins to reflect it. Many chosen ones struggle here because the silence from others can feel confusing. Questions arise. Why are they watching but not speaking? Why does the room feel different when I enter? Why do conversations stop? The answer is not always opposition. Sometimes it is recognition without understanding. People often sense movement before they can name it. This is why humility must remain active. Humility is not shrinking, it is alignment. It keeps your heart open while your boundaries stay firm. It allows you to receive instruction even as influence grows. Pride closes doors that discipline keeps open. History shows us that those entrusted with influence were often trained in obscurity. Their preparation was quiet, their refinement unseen, their discipline personal. When elevation arrived, it did not overwhelm them because they had already learned how to govern themselves. That is what is happening now. Your restraint is not delay, it is readiness. You may also notice that your tolerance for disorder is decreasing. Certain conversations feel draining, certain environments feel heavy. This is discernment developing, not judgment. You are becoming more aware of what feeds your spirit and what pulls from it. Honor that awareness. It is guidance. This is the season to guard your mind carefully. Attention can inflate ego if unchecked, or it can sharpen responsibility if stewarded well. Choose responsibility. Choose consistency. Choose truth when performance would be easier. What lasts is always built slowly. Practical wisdom matters here. Protect your routines. Keep your commitments. Do not abandon the disciplines that carried you when no one was watching. Growth does not excuse neglect. It demands greater faithfulness. The same principles that sustained you in private will preserve you in public. You may feel called to speak less and listen more. That is wisdom forming. Not every thought needs to be shared. Not every insight needs to be explained. Timing matters. Impact increases when words are released with intention. At this stage, comparison becomes especially dangerous. Do not measure your progress against someone else's visibility. Everyone's assignment unfolds differently. Stay focused on what you have been entrusted with. Comparison blurs purpose and breeds distraction. If you sense resistance in certain spaces, do not force acceptance. Grace does not require access everywhere. Some rooms are transitional, not permanent. Some people are observers, not partners. Peace will always confirm where you are meant to stay. Continue to ask for clarity in prayer, not signs. Clarity strengthens discernment. Signs can distract. Trust that what you need to know will surface when you are ready to carry it. You are not behind. You are being fortified. What lies ahead requires composure, wisdom, and courage, and those qualities are being developed now, quietly, faithfully, intentionally. Your growth is speaking even when you are silent.
Those assigned to your journey will support your growth without competing with it. Those not aligned may become uncomfortable without knowing why. This is also a refining season for trust. Trust is no longer given freely, it is earned through fruit. You are learning that access is sacred, not casual. Protecting your inner world is not selfish, it is stewardship. Many chosen ones feel an internal tension here, the desire to remain open while needing to be protected. The balance is found in clarity. When you know who you are and what you carry, boundaries stop feeling harsh and start feeling necessary. You may feel an increased pull towards solitude. This is not withdrawal, it is recalibration. Quiet spaces help you hear direction more clearly. Solitude strengthens conviction. It keeps you rooted when external attention grows louder. During this stage, it becomes vital to stay grounded in service. Influence without service hardens the heart. Service keeps the spirit soft and the motives clean. Continue to help where you can, give where you are led, and uplift without needing recognition. This is also the season to revisit your vision, not to change it, but to refine how it will be expressed. Growth often requires adjustment, not abandonment. Ask yourself, what habits support where I am going, and which ones belong to where I have been? You may feel a stronger resistance to distraction. Things that once entertained you no longer satisfy. This is maturity forming.
Your spirit is becoming less interested in noise and more aligned with purpose. Honor that shift. Be mindful of how you speak about your future. Words carry direction. Speak with confidence, but without arrogance. Speak with expectation, but without pressure. Let your words agree with what you are building internally. This is also a moment to remain teachable. Growth does not eliminate the need for guidance, it increases it. Stay open to correction. Stay grounded in truth. Stay committed to learning. Not every door that opens is meant to be entered immediately. Timing is as important as opportunity. Patience here will protect you later. If you feel stretched, that is a sign of expansion. Muscles grow under tension, not comfort. Do not rush the process. What is forming in you must be strong enough to sustain what is coming through you. You are not being observed by accident. Your life is communicating something even before your words do. And the way you carry this season will determine how much influence you can hold in the next. As this season progresses, you may begin to notice a subtle shift in how people relate to you. Some who once spoke freely now measure their words. Others watch more closely, as if waiting for confirmation of what they already sense. This change is not accidental. Influence alters dynamics even before it is formally acknowledged. This is where wisdom must lead every step. Not everyone who observes you is meant to walk with you. Observation does not equal alignment. Some people are processing what your growth means for them, not for you. Give them space to do that work without internalizing their reactions. One of the most powerful disciplines you can develop now is restraint. Restraint does not mean fear of expression. It means choosing impact over impulse. There is strength in knowing when silence speaks louder than explanation. There is authority in not defending what will soon be evident. You are entering a phase where discernment must guide relationships. Pay attention to patterns, not promises. Consistency reveals intent far more accurately than words. Those assigned to your journey will support your growth without competing with it. Those not aligned may become uncomfortable without knowing why. This is also a refining season for trust. Trust is no longer given freely, it is earned through fruit. You are learning that access is sacred, not casual. Protecting your inner world is not selfish, it is stewardship. Many chosen ones feel an internal tension here, the desire to remain open while needing to be protected. The balance is found in clarity. When you know who you are and what you carry, boundaries stop feeling harsh and start feeling necessary. You may feel an increased pull towards solitude. This is not withdrawal, it is recalibration. Quiet spaces help you hear direction more clearly. Solitude strengthens conviction. It keeps you rooted when external attention grows louder. During this stage, it becomes vital to stay grounded in service. Influence without service hardens the heart. Service keeps the spirit soft and the motives clean. Continue to help where you can, give where you are led, and uplift without needing recognition. This is also the season to revisit your vision, not to change it, but to refine how it will be expressed. Growth often requires adjustment, not abandonment. Ask yourself, what habits support where I am going, and which ones belong to where I have been? You may feel a stronger resistance to distraction. Things that once entertained you no longer satisfy. This is maturity forming. Your spirit is becoming less interested in noise and more aligned with purpose. Honor that shift. Be mindful of how you speak about your future. Words carry direction. Speak with confidence, but without arrogance. Speak with expectation, but without pressure. Let your words agree with what you are building internally. This is also a moment to remain teachable. Growth does not eliminate the need for guidance, it increases it. Stay open to correction. Stay grounded in truth. Stay committed to learning. Not every door that opens is meant to be entered immediately. Timing is as important as opportunity. Patience here will protect you later. If you feel stretched, that is a sign of expansion. Muscles grow under tension, not comfort.
Do not rush the process. What is forming in you must be strong enough to sustain what is coming through you. You are not being observed by accident. Your life is communicating something even before your words do. And the way you carry this season will determine how much influence you can hold in the next. Be mindful of how you speak about your future. Words carry direction. Speak with confidence, but without arrogance. Speak with expectation, but without pressure. Let your words agree with what you are building internally. This is also a moment to remain teachable. Growth does not eliminate the need for guidance, it increases it. Stay open to correction. Stay grounded in truth. Stay committed to learning. Not every door that opens is meant to be entered immediately. Timing is as important as opportunity. Patience here will protect you later. If you feel stretched, that is a sign of expansion. Muscles grow under tension, not comfort. Do not rush the process. What is forming in you must be strong enough to sustain what is coming through you. You are not being observed by accident. Your life is communicating something even before your words do. And the way you carry this season will determine how much influence you can hold in the next. Now you stand at a point where everything you have walked through begins to make sense. Not all at once, not in dramatic flashes, but in a deep inner knowing that settles your spirit. You recognize that the stares, the silences, the shifts in how people respond to you were never random. They were signals, evidence that something within you has been refined, strengthened, and marked for purpose. This is the season where confidence becomes calm. You no longer need to prove who you are or where you are going. Your presence speaks with quiet authority because it is rooted in truth. What once felt uncomfortable now feels familiar. You have grown into the weight you carry. You may notice that people begin to approach you differently, some with respect, some with curiosity, some with hesitation. Let them. Everyone responds differently to growth they do not yet understand. Your role is not to manage reactions, but to remain faithful to your calling. At this stage, wisdom becomes your closest companion. You choose your words carefully. You choose your battles wisely. You move with intention, not impulse. Discernment guides your decisions, protecting what has been entrusted to you. This is also where your influence expands naturally, not because you seek attention, but because consistency attracts trust. People observe how you handle pressure, how you respond to delays, how you remain steady when outcomes are uncertain. These moments shape credibility more than public victories ever could. You begin to understand that favor is not just about open doors, but about readiness when doors open. Preparation has been happening quietly. Skills have been sharpened. Character has been formed. When opportunity arrives, you will not be scrambling. You will be ready. Do not be surprised if your circle continues to shift. Growth requires alignment. Some connections were seasonal, others foundational. Release what no longer supports your assignment without resentment. Gratitude honors the role people played, even when it is time to move forward. Your faith now operates from trust, not urgency. You are no longer chasing outcomes, you are walking in obedience. This posture keeps your heart at peace, even when timelines stretch longer than expected. There will still be challenges ahead, but they will not unsettle you the way they once did. You have learned how to remain grounded. You know where your strength comes from. You know where to return when clarity is needed. Let joy become part of your discipline. Celebrate progress even when it feels small. Joy renews strength and keeps your spirit light. It reminds you that growth is not only about endurance, but also about gratitude. As you continue forward, stay connected to what feeds your spirit. Stay committed to practices that keep your inner life healthy. What you nurture internally will always reflect externally. This is a powerful moment to reflect on how far you have come. Acknowledge the lessons, honor the resilience. Give thanks for the unseen support that carried you when words failed. And now, as you step into what lies ahead, move with humility and boldness together. Humility keeps you teachable. Boldness keeps you advancing. Both are necessary. If this message resonates with your journey, take a moment to engage. Like this message so it reaches others walking a similar path. Share it with someone who may need encouragement right now. Subscribe to The Chosen Star if you haven't already, and stay connected to teachings that strengthen faith and purpose. I also want to hear from you. Comment below with the words "face shining" and share briefly how this message connects with your current season. Your testimony may be the confirmation someone else is waiting for. Remember this: you were never overlooked. You were being prepared. What is unfolding now is not an accident, it is alignment. Stay faithful, stay focused, stay encouraged. Your journey is unfolding exactly as it should.